Hello and welcome to tonight's match between the Eau Claire Immanuel Lutheran Lancers and the Blair Taylor Wildcats. This is Joe Brenthar commentating for you. I'll be doing the first set of the JV game, and then Caleb will be doing the next two sets for you, and Prof. Ray will be doing the varsity game. So I don't have a whole lot of work to do tonight, actually. Caleb will be doing video for me as well for this first set. It is senior night tonight, for those of you that don't know, so that is why I'll not be commentating for most of this. I am a senior this year, for those of you who didn't know that either. Probably not many of you, actually. So we begin shortly. I do not know who won the coin toss, but we'll find out shortly. I assume it's the Lancers since Rail is starting back. Rail will begin serving to start off the set. Rail service over, received by Kelly, up from Paulson, and just put over, not quite over, from Fredrickson. Lancers take the first point, 1-0. Lancers lead. Rail will continue to serve for the Lancers. Rail serve again over, received by Fredrickson. Set from Stephenson and put over from White, will go off the block and down. Score now tied at 1. Kelly to serve for the Wildcats. Olsen will come in for Fredrickson. Kelly's serve is over, received by Wales, set from Rail and put over from Bauer. That'll go to the back row, received by Kelly, set from White, and spike from Stephenson to go over the block, saved by Gergel. However, that'll go into the net and onto the floor. 2-1. Lancers now down by 1. Kelly to serve yet again for the Wildcats. Kelly serve again over, this time received by Williams, set from Rail, and spike from Wales to go over the block. That'll go to the back row to Fredrickson, up from White and put over from Stephenson, received by Wales, set from Rail, and spike from Wales. Saved there by Paulson, tipped over by Fredrickson, off the block, saved by Carsonson, up from Rail and over from, not quite over from Wales. This time to swing there, 3-1. Lancers now down by 2. Kelly to serve yet again for the Wildcats. Kelly serve again over, this time received by Gergel, set from Rail, and spike from Bauer. That'll go back row, received by Kelly, set over from White, set from Rail and spike from Bauer, go back row. Up from White, spike from Stephenson over the block, and Williams unable to get that up in time. 4-1. Lancers now down by 3. Kelly continuing to serve for the Wildcats. Kelly serve again over, received by Williams, and Carsonson unable to get there in time. 5-1. Lancers now down by 4. Kelly still serving. Kelly serve again over, off Wales and onto the floor. 6-1. Lancers now down by 5. And Kelly will continue to serve right after the timeout from the Lancers. Score again is 6-1. Lancers down by 5. Kelly continuing to serve for the Wildcats. Kelly serve over, received by Williams, set from Rail, and spike from Williams back row goes to Wildcats back row. Kelly up from White, and that'll go too far to the back row for Fredrickson to get to 6-2. Lancers now down by 4. Carstensen will begin serving for the Lancers. Arndt will come in for Gurgle. Carstensen serve is over, received by Paulson up from White, and spike from Olsen off the block. Attempted kick there from Arndt fails. 7-2. Lancers now down by 5. And Thompson will begin serving. Sorry, not Thompson. White will begin serving for the Wildcats. White serve is over. Nice save there by Carstensen. Free ball up from Paulson, set from White, and put over from Olsen. Received by Wales, set from Rail, and spike from Arndt goes off the block. Saved there by Olsen. Stephenson unable to put that over, so Olsen does. However, it goes out to the right. 7-3. Lancers now down by 4. Wales will begin serving for the Lancers. Wales serve is over, but out to the Lancers right. 8-3. Lancers now down by 5. Stephenson will begin serving for the Wildcats, and Wagner will come in for Paulson. Stephenson serve is over, received by Arndt, set from Bauer, and bumped over from Carstensen back row, received by Kelly up from White, and spike from Wagner. That'll go into the net. 8-4. Lancers now down by 4. Brenthal in for Bauer. Brenthal to serve for the Lancers. Brenthal serve is over, received by Stephenson up from White, and spike from Olsen. That'll hit back line. 9-4. Lancers now down by 5. And Olsen will begin serving for the Wildcats. And Fredrickson will come in for the libero, Kelly. Olsen serves over, received by Carstensen up from Brenthal, and spike from Rail. That'll go to Stephenson, set from White, and spike from Fredrickson will come up short and go into the net. 9-5. Lancers now down by 4. Arndt will begin serving for the Lancers. Arndt's serve is over. Received by Fredrickson and into the net. 9-6. Lancers now down by 3. Arndt still serving for the Lancers. Arndt serve again over. That goes off Kelly and out. 9-7. Lancers now down by 2. Arndt still serving for the Lancers. Arndt serve again over, received by Kelly yet again. This time saved by Fredrickson. Kelly to try and put that over, ends up in the net. 9-8. Lancers now down by 1. Arndt will continue to serve for the Lancers. Arndt serve again over, this time long. 10-8. Lancers now down by 2. Fredrickson will begin serving for the Wildcats. Gergo comes back in for Arndt. Fredrickson serve is over, received by Carstensen up from Brenthal, and set to the back row from Williams, saved by Kelly. Up and over from Fredrickson, saved by Carstensen, and Brenthal and Williams run into each other. 11-8. Lancers now down by 3. Fredrickson will continue to serve for the Wildcats. Serve again over, this Time again received by Carstensen, up from Brenthal, and this time spike set over from Carstensen. Sorry, received by Kelly, up from Fredrickson, and set over from Wagner will fall in the middle of the Lancers. 12-8. Lancers now down by 4. Fredrickson continuing to serve. Fredrickson serve again over, received by Wales, set from Brenthal, and spike from Carstensen. That'll go off the block, saved there by Wagner, up from Fredrickson, and put over by Fredrickson. Received by, I can't remember her name. It'll come to me though. White puts it over, received by Wales, set from Brenthal, and spike from Carson. Tipped over by Carstensen. Nice play there. Williams to serve for the Lancers. Williams' serve is over. Nice save there by Stephenson, up from Williams. Brenthal unable to play it off the net. 13-9. Lancers now down by 4. Johnson will come in for Fredrickson, and Paulson will come in for Wagner. Paulson will begin serving for the Wildcats. Paulson service over, received by Carstensen, set from Brenthal, and spike from Wales over the block. Just misses back corner. Johnson lets that go. 14-9. Lance is now down by 5. And Paulson will continue to serve for the Wildcats. Paulson serve again over again, saved by Carstensen. Free ball this time. Spike from Olsen, I believe. Gets blocked from Williams, and 2 hits called on Brenthal. Spike was actually from Fredrickson, not Olsen. Paulson to serve yet again for the Wildcats. 15-9. Lance is down by 6. Serve is received by Williams. Brenthal unable to play that off the net. 16-9. Lance is now down by 7, and I'm expecting a Lancers timeout if Lancers lose this point. Paulson to serve it again for the Wildcats. Paulson serve again over, and ace. And timeout called by the Lancers. 17-9. Lancers now lead by 8, and I'll be back in approximately a minute for the continuation of the set. Serve is over, received by Williams, and in the back wall that goes. 18-9. Lance is now down by 9. Story will come in for Williams, and Paulson will continue to serve for the Wildcats. Paulson serve again over, this time received by Gergel, set from Brenthal, and nobody there to get that. 19-9. Lance is now down by 10. And Paulson to serve it again for the Wildcats. Paulson serve again over, received by Story, up from Gergel, and put over from Carstensen. That goes over, received by Kelly, up from White, and put over by Stephenson, received by Carstensen, up from Brenthal, and spike from Wales. That'll go off the block. Nice up there from Paulson. Up and over from White, gets blocked by Carstensen. 20-9. Lance is now down by 11. Bauer will come in for Brenthal. And Rail will begin serving. Rails. Oh, it was over the net called. Okay. Seed by Gergel up from Brenthal and spike from Carstensen. Johnson to receive that. Lift called 20-10. Lance is now down by 10. This time Bauer in for Brenthal and we're able to serve. Rail serve again over, received by Kelly up from White, and spike from Fredrickson goes to the back row to Gergel. Up from Story and over from Bauer. Received by Kelly up from White and put over by Stephenson. Received by Story up from Rail and spike from Wales. Free ball, set back over from Carstensen. Up from Kelly, up from White, and spike from Fredrickson. Through the block and down it go. 21-10. Lance is now down by 11. Olsen will come in for Fredrickson and Kelly to serve for the Wildcats. Kelly serve again over, received by Wales, set by Rail and put over from Bauer. Not quite over, goes into the net. 22-10. I have a feeling again that if the Wildcats score this point, Lance is going to call a timeout after this one. I'm going to see if I can get away with 2 here. Oh, I don't think I will. 23-10, Lance is down by 13. Kelly to serve yet again for the Wildcats. Service over, received by Story, up from Gergel, and put over from Rail, received by Kelly. Up from White, and spike from Stephenson to go over the block. Nobody there to cover middle, and 24-10. Lance is down by 14. Kelly to serve for the Wildcats. Kelly serve again over, that goes out. I believe that touched Story, but nothing was called. 24-11. Lance is down by 13. Arndt will come in for Gergel. Carstensen to serve for the Lancers. Carstensen serves over off Johnson and onto the ground. 24-12. Lance is down by 12. Carstensen will continue to serve for the Lancers. Carstensen serve again over, this time received by Paulson into the ceiling, played well by Olsen, and set over from Stephenson, received by Carstensen, up from Rail, and spike from Arndt. Over the block, received by Kelly, up from White, and spike, and bumped over by Stephenson, received by Carstensen, up from Rail, spike from Arndt, will go too far. However, Olsen was in the net, so results in a Lancers point, 24-12. Lance is down by 12. Carstensen will continue to serve for the Lancers. Scoreboard still hasn't changed. There we go. Serve is over, but long this time, and 25-13 is the final score. And I'll be back in approximately 3 minutes for the second set.
Welcome back to the second set of the match, JV match between the Immanuel Lutheran Lancers and the Blair Taylor Wildcats. Fredrickson will begin serving for Blair Taylor. Service good, Wales bumps. Bernthal sets. Carstensen sets it over, and it is down on Blair Taylor's side. Immanuel leads 1-0. Bernthal serving for the Lancers. Serve is good. Bump, and Blair Taylor's doesn't quite get it over. Immanuel's point. Bernthal's serve is long. Blair Taylor's point. Immanuel's up by 1. White serving now for Blair Taylor. Nice serve. Bump by Gergel. Set by Bernthal. Over to Carstensen and off of Blair Taylor. Immanuel's point. Carstensen now serving for Immanuel. Serves good. Over, spiked by Blair Taylor. Over by Bodie, and it is in on Blair Taylor's side. Immanuel's point. Immanuel leads by 3, 4-1. Carstensen serves. Hit by Paulson. Over to Bodie. Nice bump there by Wales. Back on Immanuel's side. Nice try there. Didn't quite get to it. Blair Taylor's point. Served by Stephenson for Blair Taylor. To Wales. Bodie over the net. White sets it. Nyan bumps it over. And then Wales. Bodie. Oh, nice block there by Blair Taylor. Struggle at net results in Blair Taylor's point. Immanuel leads 4-3. Stephenson serves. Serve is good to Williams. Arndt gets it over. Immanuel's point. Wales now serving for Immanuel. Served by Blair Taylor. Oh, Immanuel's point. Nice try there. Didn't quite get it over. Immanuel leads 6-3. Wales serves to Kelly. To White. Over by Olsen to Arndt. Set by Bernthal. Bump. Oh, doesn't quite make it over. Blair Taylor's point. Kelly now serving for Blair Taylor. Serve to Wales. To Bernthal. Blair Taylor's point. This is a 1-point game. Immanuel's up by 1, 6-5. Kelly serves good to Arndt. Carstensen gets under it. White sets it for Blair Taylor. Over by Fredrickson to Carstensen. To Bernthal. Spiked by Williams. White bumps it back to Kelly. Bumps it over the net. And he's down on Immanuel's side. Good teamwork there by Blair Taylor. Score is tied 6-6. Kelly serves to Wales. Bump forward to Arndt. Over by Gallagher. Back to Immanuel. Bernthal sets. Arndt tries to spike it. Goes into the net. Blair Taylor's point. Blair Taylor is up by 1. 7-6. Kelly serves to Arndt. Blair Taylor's point. Serve to Karstensen, to Bernthal. Spike by Arndt goes over the back line. Blair Taylor's point. Blair Taylor's up by 3, 9-6. Kelly serves to Wales, bumps it forward to Bernthal. Over by Williams, goes out toward the bleachers. Blair Taylor's point. Timeout called. Score is 10-6. Blair Taylor up by 4. Kelly continues to serve for Blair Taylor. Serve out toward the far bleachers. Immanuel's point. Bodie is in, as is Bauer for Bernthal. Bodie serving for Immanuel. Nice serve there, got in. Immanuel's point. Immanuel's down by 2. Bodie continues to serve for Immanuel. Serve to Fredrickson. Over by White. And it is down on Immanuel's side. Nice over the net hit there. Blair Taylor's point. Fredrickson serving for Blair Taylor. To Bauer. Williams tries to get it. Doesn't quite get under it in time. And Blair Taylor gets the point. Fredrickson serves. Set by Karstensen. Set by Bodie. Bump. And Blair Taylor almost gets it back into play, but doesn't quite get there. The score is 12-9. Blair Taylor up by 3. Arndt is now serving for Immanuel. Serve set by Nyan. Over, down on Immanuel's side, right in the middle there. Nice hit. Point to Blair Taylor. 13-9. Blair Taylor's up by 4. Nyan is now serving for Blair Taylor. Serve is good. Nice and low over the net. Immanuel tries to get it up, but it bounces off toward the back line. Nyan serves to Wales. Gets it up, hits the ceiling. Bodie gets it over. White hits it back into the middle, center. Immanuel's point. Paulson is in for Nyan on Blair Taylor. Williams is now serving for Immanuel. The score is 14-10. Blair Taylor up by 4. Williams serves it. White bumps it to over the net to Bodie. Karstensen sets it over. Kelly to White. To Fredrickson. A nice hit there. Down on Immanuel's side. Blair Taylor's point. Fredrickson is now serving for Blair Taylor. Back to Grugel. And it goes into the bleachers. Blair Taylor's point. Blair Taylor up by 6. Fredrickson serving still serving for Blair Taylor. Nice serve to Gurgle. Rail and Wales over the net to White. To Olsen, who puts it over to Gurgle. Rail, Carstensen spikes it. And it is down on Blair Taylor's side. Nice spike there. Blair Taylor leads 16-11, up by 5. Bernthal serving for the Lancers. Serve is good. White sets it over. Bernthal bumps it back to Williams, bumps to Wales and puts it over to Kelly. To White. Nice spike there. And Blair Taylor gets the point. 17-11. Blair Taylor is leading by 6. White serving for Blair Taylor. To Wales. Blair Taylor's point. Lancers touched the net there. White serves good. Oh, never mind. My bad. Serve hit the net. Almost got over, though. Score is 18-12. Blair Taylor is up by 6. Carstensen is now serving for the Lancers. Nice serve there. Oh, nice hit over the net. Rail sets it, gets it over. Nice valiant attempt there by Stephenson. Immanuel's point. Carstensen's serve is good. Stephenson over to Bernthal. To Rail. Wales spikes it, sends it back. Kelly sends it forward. Blair Taylor's point. Carstensen still serving for Immanuel. Serve is good. Back to Fredrickson. Immanuel's point. Barely gets down on Blair Taylor's side. Blair Taylor is up by 3, 18-15. Carstensen's serve is good. Oh, nice try by there. But it hits just in front of the net. Lancers point. Carstensen serves. Hits the ceiling and comes down fast. Immanuel trails by 1 point. And a timeout is called. Score is 18-17. Blair Taylor up by 1. It's a close game coming into the final points of this set. Carstensen remains serving for the Lancers. Serve hit by Fredrickson over to the near bleachers. Immanuel's point. The score is now tied 18-18. Carstensen's serve is short, hits the net. Blair Taylor leads by 1, 19-18. Stephenson now serving for Blair Taylor. Serve is good to Arndt. Bernthal. Rail sets it over to Kelly. To White. And a nice bump by Fredrickson. Blair Taylor's point. Blair Taylor leads by 2, 20-18. Stephenson's serve is good. Blair Taylor's point. Called on a lift. Lancers trail by 3, 18-21. Served by Stephenson to Bernthal to Carstensen. Over by Wales to White. And over by Seitz to Carstensen. Arndt spikes it to Kelly. Hit the ceiling. Nice try there by White. Doesn't quite make it over the net. Point to Lancers. Lee comes in for Stephenson. Wales now serving for Immanuel. Serve to Kelly. Over by Seitz to Carstensen. Set by Bernthal. Spiked by Williams to Kelly. Set by White. To Nyan. And it gets down on Immanuel's side. Blair Taylor's point. Blair Taylor leads 22-19. Seitz now serving for Blair Taylor. Nice serve there. Carstensen bumps it to Williams. Carstensen sets it over. Save to Arndt. To Rail. Bump by Lee to Fredrickson. Hits it over by Nyan. Rail to Carstensen, who hits it into the net. Blair Taylor's point. Score is now 23-19. Blair Taylor up by 4. Seitz serving for Blair Taylor. Serve is good to Carstensen. Set by Bernthal. Hit over by Williams to Seitz. White gets it back into play. Over by Fredrickson to Wales. Set by Bernthal. Spike by Arndt goes out of bounds past the baseline. Lancers trail by 5, 19-24. Seitz serves. Hits the net. Immanuel's point. Lancers are now down by 4, 20-24. Bauer in for Bernthal for the Lancers. Rail now serving. Serve is good to Lee. To Nyan. Arndt puts it over again. Nice hit there. Blair Taylor up by 3, 24-21. Rail serves to Lee. Back over to the Lancers to Rail. By Williams. Over by Bauer. Kelly saves it, puts it up to White. And Nyan almost gets it over, but not quite. Immanuel's point. Immanuel trails by 2, 22-24. Rail serving to Kelly. To Nyan. Over and out. Nice try there. It's a 1-point game. 23-24. Blair Taylor up by 1. Rail serves to Fredrickson, I believe, to Kelly. Carstensen to Rail. Over by Bauer, Kelly. Over to Bauer again. Arndt. Rail sets it over to Kelly. To White. Bumped by Wales. Set by Rail. Spiked by Arndt to Kelly. To White. Fredrickson to Carstensen. Oh, Whale doesn't quite get under it. And the Blair Taylor scores the 25th point, ending this second match. Blair Taylor wins 25-23. We'll be back in about 3 minutes. Welcome back to the third and final set of the JV match between the Immanuel Lutheran Lancers and the Blair Taylor Wildcats. Rail will begin serving for Immanuel. Serve is good to Kelly. Goes to White. Spike to Girdle. Set by Rail. Down in front of the net for Immanuel. Blair Taylor's point. Fredrickson serving for Blair Taylor. Goes to Girdle. Set by Rail. Spiked by Wales. Into the net. Blair Taylor leads 2-0. Fredrickson serves into the net. Immanuel's point. Blair Taylor still leads by 1, 2-1. Karstensen is now serving for Immanuel. Serve is out on Blair Taylor's side. Scores 3-1. Blair Taylor up by 2. Fredrickson comes in for Johnson for Blair Taylor. White is now serving for Blair Taylor. Spike over by Wales to Kelly. Set by White. Over to Rail. Set by Wales. And nice try there by Gallagher. And goes into the net. Blair Taylor's point. White serves to Heinze. Olsen tries to get it over for Blair Taylor. Doesn't quite get it over, very close. Wales is now serving for Immanuel. The Lancers are down by 2. Wales serves it. And it is Immanuel's point, called on a lift by Blair Taylor. Lancers down by 1. 3-4. Bauer is in for Heinze. Wales still serving. Serve is good. Goes to Fredrickson. Stephenson and into the net by Blair Taylor. Score is now tied 4-4. Wales serves to... Oh, nice try there. Nice try. But hit the ceiling, comes down. Immanuel's point. Immanuel leads 5-4. Wales serves to Fredrickson. Paulson tries to get it back into the court. Doesn't quite get there in time. Immanuel's up by 2, 6-4. Wales serves to Fredrickson. Over by White. To Rail. Hit by Arndt. Goes out on the right on Blair Taylor's side. Score is 6-5. Lancers are up by 1. Stephenson serves for the Wildcats. To Wales. Set by Rail. Spiked by Arndt. Nice try there by Karstensen to get it over. And it goes down in front of the net on Immanuel's side. Score is now tied 6-6. Stephenson serves to Arndt. Over to Gallagher. And over by Karstensen to Kelly. White bumps it back. Over to Wales. Set and comes down right in front of the net again on Immanuel's side. Blair Taylor leads by 1, 7-6. Stephenson serves over to Arndt. Set by Rail. Attempted spike by Arndt. Comes down on Immanuel's side. Blair Taylor's point. Stephenson serves to Karstensen. Nice spike there by Olsen for Blair Taylor. Blair Taylor leads 9-6, up by 3. Stephenson continues to serve for the Wildcats. Karstensen to Rail. Over the net by Arndt. Comes down. White attempts to get under it and bump it over. Doesn't quite get there. The Lancers are down by 2, 7-9. Gallagher now serving for the Lancers. Serve is short, hits the net, and the Wildcats are up by 3, 10-7. Olsen now serving for the Wildcats. Over to Wales. Over by Karstensen. Back to Olsen. Over by White to Karstensen. Set by Bernthal. Spiked by Rail over the net. Blair Taylor attempts to get it over. It goes into the net again. Seitz is in for Fredrickson for Blair Taylor. Gergel now serving for Immanuel. Immanuel's down by 2. 8-10. Serve is good to Kelly. Over by Nyan. Set by Karstensen. Set by Bauer. Blair Taylor's point.
This was by far one of the best ideas we've
Wagner's in for White for the Wildcats. Fredrickson now serving for Blair Taylor. Bumped by Karstensen. Set by Bernthal. Spiked by Rail. Over to Gergel. Another set by Bernthal. And a spike by Rail. Goes over by Seitz. Set by Bernthal. Spiked by Karstensen down on Blair Taylor's side. Blair Taylor leads by 2, 11-9. Bauer is now serving for Immanuel. Goes to Stephenson. Seitz bumps it over to Bauer. Bump back into play by Bernthal. Over by Wales. Set over by Kelly. To Rail. To Bernthal. Set over by Karstensen. Hits the net on Blair Taylor's side. Immanuel down by 1 point. 11-10 Blair Taylor. Bauer serves for Immanuel. Serve is good. Toward the bleachers on the near side. Goes out. Score is now tied 11-11. With Bauer serving for the Lancers. Serve is good. Kelly back into play to Nyan. Bernthal sets. Rail sets it over. It is just out. Blair Taylor's point. Paulson comes in for Nyan. Paulson serving for Blair Taylor. Serve to Karstensen over the net. Hit the net on Blair Taylor's side. Blair Taylor hit the side of the net. Immanuel's point. Score is tied 12-12. Rail now serving for Immanuel. Gallagher is in for Bernthal. Serve just is over the net. Comes down on Blair Taylor's side. Immanuel leads. Rail serves. Over and out. Nice try there by Johnson. Doesn't quite make it in. Heinze is now in on the Lancers side for Bauer. Served by Rail to Kelly. Goes out on the near side of the bleachers. Score is 14-12. Lancers up by 2. Rail serves to the Lancers. Paulson. Over by 9. And down on Immanuel's side. Blair Taylor's point. Sight serving for Blair Taylor. Over to Gurgle. Wales bumps it to Rail, who sets it over. Wagner hits it, and then it goes over, and Carstensen tries to play it off the net. It comes off a little too quickly, faster than she expected, and so Blair Taylor gets the point. Score is now tied 14-14. Sight serves. Serve to Wales. Bump by Rail to Gallagher. Puts it over the net. Immanuel's point. Immanuel leads by 1, 15-14. Carstensen now serving for Immanuel. Arndt is in for Gurgle. Kelly debates whether to play it. It looked like it was going out, but it does land in. Lancers are up by 2 now, 16-14. Carstensen's serve is good. Johnson hits it over, and it hits Immanuel's side. Blair Taylor's point. Fredrickson is in for Johnson, and White is in for Wagner, both on the Wildcats team. White now serving for Blair Taylor. Service to Carstensen. Arndt almost gets under it. Goes behind the baseline to the right. Blair Taylor's point. Score is now tied 16-16. White serves to Carstensen. Set by Rail. Spike over by Gallagher. White attempts to hit it over. Hits the net. Comes down on Blair Taylor's side. Immanuel leads by 1, 17-16. Wales now serving for Immanuel. Bodie is in for Heinze. Serve to Fredrickson. Over by Olsen. Carstensen gets under it. Hits the net. Lancers don't play it off the net. Good try, though. Score is tied 17-17. Stephenson serving for Blair Taylor. To Carstensen. Set by Rail. Nice bump over by Bodie. To White. Olsen hits it. Doesn't quite make it over. Immanuel's point. Bernthal now serving for the Lancers. Over, and it comes off toward the bleachers on Blair Taylor's side. Immanuel's leads by 2, 19-17. Story is in for Wales. Bernthal continues to serve for the Lancers. Serve over to White. Olsen hits it over. Set by Bernthal. And over back to Blair Taylor. Fredrickson hits it to Olsen, who tries to get it over. Hits the net. Immanuel's point. Immanuel leads 20-17, up by 3. Served by Bernthal. Kelly bumps it back to the center. Over by White. Carstensen. Set by Bernthal. And over by Rail. Set by White. Over by Nyan. Goes out toward the far bleachers. Immanuel's point. Immanuel leads by 4, 21-17. Bernthal serves to Nyan. And it goes out to the far bleachers. Timeout called by Blair Taylor. Immanuel leads by 5, 22-17. Bernthal continues to serve for the Lancers. Serve, hit back over to the Lancers. Set over to Stephenson, to White. Hit over to Story. Bump by Bernthal. Over by Rail to Fredrickson. Over by Olsen to Arndt. Set by Bernthal. Spiked by Bodie. Point to Blair Taylor. Score's now 22-18. Lancers up by 4. Olsen serving for Blair Taylor. Goes out to the left on Immanuel's side. Immanuel's point. 23-18, Lancers up by 5. Gurgle is in for Arndt. Williams is in for Rail. Gurgle now serving for the Lancers. Over and out by Blair Taylor. Lancers up by 6, 24-18. Over to Nyan, puts it over. Set by Bodie. Over by Karstensen. Nice try there by White. Goes under the net. And that is this set. 25-18. Lancers win by 7. Thanks for watching, and we'll be back in a few minutes for the varsity match between the Lancers and the Wildcats.